What the fuck did I just watch? Like, seriously. What was that? I thought The Identical was a bad movie. Wow. Wow. Hey guys, it's Kevin again. I don't even know what to say about this movie. I am so happy to review this movie that is definitely going to get a bunch of Oscars, definitely. It is going to get every single Oscar in every single category. It's going to be nominated for Best Picture and everything, and that movie is Left Behind! I was dreading watching this movie, guys. I really was. But I'm going to tell you why I watched this movie. Now, let me explain something to you guys. I don't watch these movies to torture myself. I don't. Believe it or not, I don't want to torture myself. I do this because I love you guys. So if you guys are wondering why I watch these movies, it is simply because I love you guys and I have to. I have to watch these piece of shit movies because I have to see how bad they are. And, yeah, this movie might be one of the worst movies I've seen in my entire life, honestly. It is to the extent of a Lifetime movie and an ABC Family movie mixed with, like, a 90s sitcom. That's how bad this movie is. It has the thrill of it has, like, the thrill of, like, a 90s sitcom. It has the score of, like, Full House. Like, overall, it's just a bunch of piece of fluff, and it is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm going to talk about, let's get to this stupid plot of Left Behind. What is even the plot of Left Behind? I don't care what the plot of this movie is, so I'm going to just sum it up very easily. We have Nicolas Cage, he's like this flight captain and everything. I'm trying to explain as best I can. I don't. But I'm going to try the best I can to explain it because I didn't even really pay attention. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even pay much attention to this movie. That's how boring this movie is. That's how boring, really, it is. So, basically, here's the plot of this movie. Nicolas Cage is this flight captain or whatever, and his daughter is, like, concerned because he's not around a lot and things like that. And on this plane, a bunch of survivors, they just randomly start disappearing. They start randomly disappearing because they were left behind and everything. People are suddenly vanishing. The world is plunged into chaos and destruction. And we have as much tension in this movie as a Bugs Bunny cartoon. That's how much tension we have in this movie. Alright. And that means this movie is fantastic. Oh, and this movie has Nicolas Cage. That means it's going to be great. Now let's talk about this movie. First of all, you know a TV movie and a Lifetime movie, an ABC Family movie? Yeah, that's not even as good as this. This is to the equivalent of, like, a short film. Maybe this movie could work if it's a short film. Maybe. But as a full film, no! This is not even a regularly structured movie. The acting in this movie isn't even acting. Nicolas Cage in this movie, I'm sorry, you don't have a career anymore. You can make good movies like Joe, but if you make movies like this, I don't think you have a career anymore. You really don't. Stop making these kind of movies. They're not good. You're not good at it. They're not structured well. You're not good at what you're doing. His character in this movie, this is literally how he greets his daughter. Hi, honey, I haven't seen you in such a long time. Hi, we're all gonna hug. Like, literally, that's how he is in the movie. He's way too happy. He seems like he's done a bunch of drugs. He seems like he's very high. He seems like he's hiding something. The second he came on stream, like, why do I feel like he's hiding something? And he's not. He literally is like that the entire movie. And then the plane's about to crash down. This is what he's like. Oh, yeah, the plane's about to crash down. Everybody be okay. The plane's about to crash down. Like, he says it with no emotion at all. He says it in this Nicolas Cage voice like this. That's the Nicolas Cage voice. And honestly, this just proves that Nicolas Cage is just not a very good actor. I really like the guy. He's a very good actor. He is a very good actor in some movies. This is not one of them. This is his worst performance ever. Chad Michael Murray in this movie as Buck is literally only there to be Cassie Thompson's interest. That is the only reason he is in this movie, is for Cassie Thompson's character to have a love interest, and he sucks. I'm sorry. He sucks. Lea Thompson opens this movie up, and the first line of dialogue she has is, your father's running late. He's gonna be coming home soon. Your father's gonna be coming home soon. I'm like, bitch, I don't care. I don't care if he's coming home soon. Lea Thompson is very, very talented in Switched at Birth, and she's doing this shit. Like, why would you do this? I think you get enough money for Switched at Birth. I think you get paid enough. I don't think you need to make any more money. You get paid enough for Switched at Birth. That show is on 2 times a year, so why do you need to get paid? I don't get it. Every single person person in this movie is only doing this money because they want to make money. Every single person in this movie is like that. Lea Thompson is the worst actress in this movie. I've never seen this actress before. Please never act again. You are absolutely awful. She seems like she belongs in, like, a Lifetime movie. And maybe play, like, do, like, a biopic. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. They should make a Lifetime movie about the making of this movie. If they made a Lifetime movie about the making of Left Behind, it would be more entertaining than this whole movie. That's how boring this movie is. Jordan Sparks is in this movie. Jordan Sparks! Jordan Sparks! That's how cheap this movie is. Jordan Sparks is in it. That's how boring it is. Like, can you just tell how cheaply made this movie is? The directing in this movie, this director does not give two shits what he's doing. This director doesn't care. Vic Armstrong, what the fuck else has this guy done? We're gonna look at his bio right now, because I need to see what else this guy has done. Because I need to see if he... Wait a second. Wait a second. This is his first directed movie. Let me see. No, he's done 5 other movies. And this is he did The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. He did some movie called Army of One. And all the other movies, he's been a stuntman. Yeah, I don't care if you make really good stunts for Indiana Jones. I don't care if you make really good stunts in general. Just don't direct movies! You don't know how to direct a movie, okay? This literally felt like I was watching, like, a sci-fi movie. That's what it seemed like. It looked like I flipped through the sci-fi channel, and this was on, and this seemed like to the equivalent of, like, Sharknado. That's how bad this movie is. It is worse than Sharknado. It really is. And this director doesn't even care what he's doing. The screenplay of this movie, the lines of dialogue, feel like I'm watching a 90s sitcom. Like, you know those tender moments in Full House, and they would have that happy music play? That's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know, really cheesy music every time they'd have some sort of, like, conversation. That's how cheesy the conversations in this movie are. There's so many conversations in this movie that don't seem real at all, and honestly, they're to the equivalent of The Room! I'm going to be honest. This is The Next Room. This movie is The Next Room. I said The Identical is The Next Room. No, this is The Next Room. The conversation in this movie just feels so lifeless. They're not normal conversations. They're nothing that anyone would, you know, normally say. Just the conversation in this movie feels so lifeless and so boring, and they don't even know how to do a good conversation. The cinematography in this movie looks like looks like a cheap 90s video game. This movie is literally trapped in the 90s, in case you can't tell. The score in this movie sounds like Full House. It really does. You know the theme song Full House, everywhere you look, and you know when you'd see the house and you have that happy music play when you'd see the house? That's what the score sounds like in this movie. It sounds like Full House. It's ridiculous. And honestly, this movie is just trapped in the 90s. This honestly felt like a movie that was shelved to be released in the 90s, and they couldn't get it to be released, so now it's finally coming out. That's honestly felt like what this movie is. And I know that's not what this movie is, but this director must just love the 90s, because everything in this movie is completely 90s. Except there's a Skype call that reminds you that we're in the 21st century still. But then there's, like, a Britney Spears song that plays. There's, like, a pop song. Like, this movie just trapped in the 90s. It doesn't even know how to be a regularly structured movie. And you know what the worst part of all this is? Is that we have to have another one! Because the end of the movie, literally, he says, I think this is the end. And she's like, oh no, Dad, this is the beginning. And we have to suffer not just one, but there's 2 movies planned. Why would anyone want to see this movie? Did anyone even see this movie? Let's see how much I need to see how much this movie made. I need to see how much this movie made. Okay, let's look at the box office here, because I don't think this movie made a single buck. I don't think it did. If any buck it made, it was from Chris Stuckman, because I know Chris Stuckman saw it, and I know Big D saw it, but I don't know who saw it besides them. Left Behind. This is how much I don't care. I'm not even, like, on a Wikipedia page right now. I don't even care who's in this movie. I don't care. I'm on IMDb, and they don't even show, like, how much money this movie made.
It made $19.7 million.
Thank you, Caden. See, I don't even care. That's how much I don't care. Caden's doing all the work for me. Yeah, $19.7. $19.7. And this movie cost $16 million to make.
$19.7 million at the box office.
It took $16 million to make, and it made $19.7 million. Is that any indication that your movie's a flop? Any indication at all? Like, honestly, if I was the director...
It made its budget back.
It did, but still. If I was the director to this movie, I wouldn't make this movie, like, seriously. The end of this movie is so stupid. There's no action in this entire movie. No, you're not worried for the characters. You're not worried for them at all. The whole movie, this is literally, like, Chloe's character, Cassie Thompson's character. That's her character in the movie. She's like, and then you have Nicolas Cage being like, everything's okay, I'm gonna fly this plane. I'm Nicolas Cage. I'm a pilot. That's how the acting is in this movie. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's some of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. This movie is so lifeless. I lost focus in it like an hour in. That's how bad this movie is. 20 minutes in, it feels like it's an hour in. That's how bad it is. It's that bad of a movie. And it's 110 minutes, and it felt like I was watching like a 4-hour movie. It honestly felt like it. It was 4 o'clock. It was 3 o'clock when I started this movie. And I thought it was like 6 o'clock when I was done with this movie. That's how bad this movie was. That's how much I hate this movie. That's how much I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. And I just don't want to talk about this movie anymore. Let me tell you guys something. Let me show you guys how bad this movie was. Let's talk about who originally was supposed to play these roles. Ashley Tisdale was supposed to play the female lead in this movie. Tia Mowry was supposed to be in this movie. That just shows you this is trying to be like an ABC Family movie. Honestly, I honestly feel like this was a movie that ABC Family would have loved. Just take it to ABC Family, leave it off the big screen, leave it off of there, and just leave it alone. Let's never hear about Left Behind again. Worst movie of the year. And guess what, guys? My next video, you know how I said I'd make a top 10 list? I didn't mean best list. I meant worst list. And I can guarantee you that this is probably going to be number 1. That's how bad this movie is. I don't want to talk anymore. Left Behind, just go away, stay behind. Left Behind, I wanted to leave this movie behind, honestly. Left Behind is a perfect title because you never want to think about it again. I want to put this movie behind the back of my mind, throw it into like a dumpster. I want to take every single Blu-ray, throw it into a dumpster. I want to do whatever I can, and this movie gets a fucking F, a 0.000000000. That's how much I hate this movie. Don't watch this movie again. Thank you guys for watching this review. And, yeah, I know I talked about nothing about the movie. I didn't talk about what happens at the end of the movie because I don't care. I don't care about the action scenes in this movie. I don't care about the effects in this movie. I don't care about anything about this movie. All I'm going to say is put the next movie on ABC Family. It's going to be the most watched movie ever. That's all I'm going to say. And that's the way the director thinks about things. That's the director has thought about this, and that's what's going to happen. Honestly, just make it a Lifetime movie combined with an ABC Family, mixed with garbage, make it a Full House reunion for all I care. Just leave it off the fucking big screen. Thank you.